everyone, Scott here from Classic Elite, and today I'm going to talk about DuckTales Remastered for the PC. It's also available on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii U. It was developed by WayForward Technologies, and it's essentially a remake of the 1989 classic on the NES, DuckTales. If you're like me and you're somebody that loved the cartoon series and the video game when you were a kid, you probably reacted like I did when you saw that this game was announced and you were really excited. So let's take a look to see if it lives up to the expectations that we would all have based on the NES classic. I'd have to say that my favorite thing about the game is the art style. I love being able to play as the cartoon sprites, and overall I love the way that the levels look, I love the backgrounds, and all of the enemies look great as well. Music is another thing about this game that I really liked a lot. I'm impressed with the remixes. I think that they're certainly adequate, and the best part is that you're able to turn on the original NES soundtrack, which is one of my favorite soundtracks for that entire generation.
How dare you!
The controls in this game are pretty good. They do feel really close to the original, but unfortunately, because they do feel close to the original, there are certainly times where it feels maybe a little too tight to be able to jump through certain areas the way that the developers have redesigned some of the levels. They've made some interesting choices as far as level design overall. They've turned this into a little bit more of a Metroidvania type of game with exploration and the collection of items. Unfortunately, I didn't really like the collecting aspect. I just want to be able to go through the level in the path that I choose when it comes to a 2D side-scrolling platformer like this. The original DuckTales certainly had a good bit of exploration, and that's why the developers were able to put collectibles around the levels. But the original didn't require you to explore the level, so it kind of took away from the magic of being able to discover certain things. Another issue that this design caused was a lot of backtracking, and I don't typically like that in this style of game. I guess if it's more open world I don't mind, but here it just didn't seem right. I do want to say that my biggest issue is probably the fact that there are so many cutscenes in this game. I feel like I'm constantly hitting start then A so that I can go ahead and skip it. It's weird that we don't have the ability with a single button to go ahead and skip a cutscene because they are so frequent. And one of the weird things is most levels have around 3 collectibles or so to get, but in the Amazon level there were 7 collectibles, and every time you get a collectible it triggers a cutscene. That's a lot of time of breaking the continuity of the gameplay, and it's not like we didn't know that we needed to collect those items, so we don't need some sort of an explanation every time we find something. There are some changes that the developers made that are great improvements. Most notable for me definitely are the boss fights. The enemies are a lot tougher than the original, and I also think that the patterns that they put in for each of the bosses have nice variety and added to a lot of difficulty. Another improvement that they made is the granularity when it comes to selecting difficulty settings. You can either have the classic pogo mechanic turned on or off, which is great. I personally turned it off for this review. And also there are 3 difficulty settings: easy, normal, and hard. For this review I have been playing in easy mode so that I could make sure that I could easily capture footage, but the game does get very difficult if you are on normal and hard modes, which is pretty cool. Overall, I have to say that I did enjoy playing DuckTales Remastered, but it's not a game that I absolutely love because of a few quirks that were embedded in the level design. If you're interested in the original DuckTales, you can check out my walkthrough. I'll have a link in the description below. Also, I do want to again thank Gamersgate.com and G2PO.com for sponsoring this review. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Also, if you've enjoyed my commentary, we have a podcast at ClassicElite.com. Thanks a lot for watching.